What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2005 movie Munich. So, this movie is directed by Steven Spielberg and follows events after the 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich, where a group of athletes are held hostage and eventually killed by this group called the Black September, and then the Israeli government sends a group of people to assassinate all the people that were involved in the massacre, and they're led by Eric Bana. This is one of those movies of Steven Spielberg's that I think is alright. It got pretty good reviews and stuff, I think, when it came out, but I don't know like how big of a hit it was. I remember hearing about it, but it wasn't like super talked about. It wasn't like a huge hit or anything, but it's just an alright movie. It's not one of my most favorites. It's really slow paced and everything, and the movie's almost 3 hours long, so that kind of hurts it as well. Like it was kind of hard to get through this movie, and part of it is because I watched half of it a week ago when I was trying to do this video and everything, when I was reviewing all of Spielberg's other movies, and halfway through it my DVD stopped working, so I had to order a new copy of it on eBay, and it just came in yesterday and everything, so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and just restart it and watch it all over again, and having to restart it and everything just made it harder to enjoy, if that makes sense. I'm sure people have done that before. I'm sure y'all probably have had to restart a movie and just don't enjoy it as much because of that reason and everything, and it's not a terrible movie or anything, but it's just not one that I'm going to find myself wanting to revisit for a while. I will say Eric Bana was really good in this movie as the leader. I think his name is Avner. He's really good in this movie, and he's a really underrated actor. I've always really liked Eric Bana a lot. I thought he was really underrated, and he's really good in this movie. But it could have been a lot better than it was. It does have a lot of good things about it, though. Like, Spielberg's directing is always top notch and everything. Like, he never does really bad with his directing now, and he did a good job on that. And it has some other good moments, so like I said, I do enjoy this movie to an extent. The rest of the cast besides Eric Bana are really good. Daniel Craig is in here. He's really young in this movie, and he's good. And Jeffrey Rush is great in this movie. Ciarán Hinds is really good in here, and a lot of the other actors I don't really recognize, but they were all really good in here. And John Williams' score is once again amazing. He is always really great when he does his scores and everything. I think he actually did get an Oscar nomination for this movie. I'm not 100%, but I think he did and everything, but he didn't win. I think he actually lost to himself for Memoirs of a Geisha, so it had to be a really terrible loss for him, though. But I think that he did a good job with the score. Jonzu Kaminsky, who does the cinematography for most of Spielberg's movies since Schindler's List, is cinematographer here, and it's once again excellent. And I really like the editing and stuff. Like, this is a really well-made movie and everything. It's just not one that I find myself wanting to revisit. The first act of the movie is pretty good, and then it gets really slow for the second act, and then the third act kind of picks up a little bit, and it has some good action and stuff in here. It's kind of like an action movie and everything, but it has some brutal violence like you expect from these movies. Not near as brutal as Schindler's List or Spielberg's other movie, Saving Private Ryan. It's not those level of violent, but still is pretty violent and everything. I don't find this movie one that I'm going to want to revisit, though. Except for maybe if I'm watching his movies like I've been doing in these last few months, just binge watching some of his movies. But I think this is a alright movie. It's definitely not one of his best or one of his worst. But it probably would be in the lower ranking, but just because it's not one of my most favorites. But I don't think it's absolute garbage or anything. I don't really think any of his movies are that bad, really, to be honest. I mean, it just isn't one of my most favorites. But yeah, so I'd say I'd give Munich a 7 out of 10. It's an alright movie. It's worth watching every now and then and everything. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Munich, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.
Yeah!